how having money actually made my game worse. Okay, and this is a coaching video that I feel that I need to do because I see a lot of guys dropping comments saying stuff like, oh man, these chicks, wait till I get rich, wait till I have all this money, then I'll get the chicks. Once I have the money, I can have any chick I want. First off, let me say this, when you have money you will feel more entitled. Okay, that's the positive to it. The negative is that when you have money, you will not try as hard. You will kind of like put your feet up and think, kind of like expect the girls to come to you. And to be honest with you, it just doesn't work that way in reality. And the thing is, I've always known this as a pickup artist, professional pickup artist, and as a professional pickup instructor, having students that have had money, way more money than I have, right? Guys are making millions per month, not even per year, but per month. I've had students who've made up to 10 million per month that have taken my dating programs. And the funny thing is I saw them all having the same problem that I got infected with once I began to have money, once I began to have success. And that problem was just feeling too entitled and expecting the women to come to you and no longer willing to work for it. Again, it's just like kicking your feet up and going, hey, this bitch should have sex with me because I got a Lambo parked outside. And if she doesn't have sex with me, it's her loss. And kind of getting that delusional sense of entitlement that is not healthy, right? I teach students to have a delusional level of self-confidence, which is healthy, but having a delusional level of self-entitlement based on the fact that you have material possessions is not good. Okay, let me just say that. It is not going to help you. So when I started to get money, it actually did make my game worse. And I've seen this with other students who've come into money, they built a business, they went from broke, basically zero to hero. They went from broke to making millions per year or millions per month in the case of some of my students. And then all of a sudden, I saw the laziness kick in. These guys were not willing to work for it anymore. I mean, no different than, say, a professional athlete, like an NFL athlete, for example. Once you pay these guys a huge contract, right? Once you dump a shit ton of money on these guys in these guys' laps, all of a sudden he's not the player he once was. It's very, very rare that you could pay a player all this money and then he comes back the next season like charged up and playing like 10 times better because he's got 10 times more income. No, you generally see the opposite. And right now we're going through this with my quarterback for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, right? You guys know I'm a Cowboys fan. Don't hate. But right now he wants basically Patrick Mahomes money, right? He wants to be the highest paid in the NFL. And it's like, dude, you went 8-8 last season, man. Should you get this money? I'm not going to comment on that. But based on the statistics that they're giving out, they're basically saying like, yeah, if you pay Dak all this money, $45 million a year, you make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, you give him this huge contract that's guaranteed based on statistics of other quarterbacks who've been in his position that they gave all that money to. None of those quarterbacks ever made it to the Super Bowl. Okay, most of those quarterbacks barely, if any of them, made it to even the playoffs, right? What they saw is that their performance on the field actually went down. And it's just something that money does to you. It just makes you more lazy unless you're willing to put evolutionary pressure on yourself. And that is something that I had to do. And that is something that I teach my students who've come into money, who've gotten rich. I've taught them the same thing. I'd say the worst ones are the guys who are already rich, like maybe their parents. They might have inherited money from their parents and they never really had to work that hard for anything. Those are the hardest guys to coach because those guys are just way too entitled. They feel like they don't have to do anything. And it's like, dude, if you just want a girl who's gonna, come to you for your money, you'll find that, right? We call them gold diggers. You're gonna find a chick who just wants you for your money. And at the end of the day, a lot of guys will say, well, all chicks just want your money at the end of the day. It's like, not necessarily true, right? Not necessarily true. If anything, I would say most women out there just want a guy who's financially stable, that they don't have to carry, that they don't have to worry about like, oh, Like, if I hook up with this guy, are we going to be broke? Are we going to be living in the dumps? Are we going to be living in the projects? They just want a guy that they know, like, he's got his shit together. Financially, I don't have to worry. If I get pregnant, if we have a family together, this guy's got a good job, or, you know, he's not in the shitter, he's not in the hole, he's not, like, he doesn't have all this credit card debt, he's not going to be constantly relying on me for money. Most women just want a guy who they know, like, okay, he's doing well. Is it attractive to them? Absolutely. Okay, so that's like one aspect of getting rich that's actually good, is the woman will be more attracted to you because she'll be like, wow, this guy is not a loser, right? He's not a loser. But again, the negative is you feel like you shouldn't have to do anything in order for this chick to have sex with you just because you have money. And that's just not the way game works. It's not the way pickup works. And like I said, it actually made my game worse. I stopped trying and I stopped performing and I stopped pounding the pavement as hard as I was when I was broke. I mean, I've told guys this a number of times. I actually did the best when I was broke. I did the best when I was like fat and out of shape because I didn't care. Right? I didn't care. It's like, actually, when I started getting into good shape and then I started to make money, I felt more entitled to, like, hey, you know, I shouldn't have to work for you. You should just come to me. You know, I started to get that attitude, that like delusional level of self-entitlement that wasn't actually healthy. Right? Because the girl, especially for a girl who doesn't know you, that you just met, or you're just cold approaching, or you might have just met through your social circle, or you might have just met through work or at your gym, she doesn't know all these fantastic things about you that, you know, like all the hard work you had to put in to make all this money. She doesn't know. And she doesn't care, and she's not gonna care until she gets to know you first, until you work a little something called game on her, and you actually get her out with you, you get her to emotionally invest in you, you get her to buy into your frame, you get her to mimic your frame and your behavioral traits, and then she becomes your girl, she starts dating you. That's when she'll start to care about that stuff, and she'll be like, hey, my man is the shit. Right? He is the shit. He's a self-made millionaire. I'm with a great guy. I'm with a high value guy. Look at what I got. All my exes were losers, but this guy is super high value. That's when she'll appreciate you, right? But the problem is most guys would have money, and I made this mistake too once I started getting money. Even though I was teaching these guys, it didn't dawn upon me until I really sat and thought about it. But I was like, how come the number of like hotties in my pipeline has gone down? How come the number of hotties hitting me up has declined since I've been making more money? How is that happening? It's because I started kicking my feet up and I wasn't willing to perform and work solid game anymore. I've been telling you guys this from day one, that it's all about solid game. You guys who ask me like, oh, I texted this girl, she won't text me back. What can I say to get her to go out with me? And I'm like, you're in damage control now because you didn't work solid game. Everything comes back to your initial approach. If you didn't work solid game in your initial approach, then you're going to be in damage control trying to get this girl out through text. But whenever you work solid game on the girl, you could text a girl whatever you want and it won't matter. You could be like, oh, hey, why don't you come out for drinks tonight? 8 o'clock, babe. This is where we're going to meet up. And guess what? She'll show up like that. You're not in damage control because you work solid game. She'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to show up because I want to see this guy. But when you do a shitty approach or a half-ass approach, or you just got her number and you ran away, you didn't get an emotional investment from her, you didn't build comfort and rapport, you didn't do all the things that I teach you about in 7 Months of Mastery. When you don't do a solid approach, basically you're going to be in damage control over text with the girl trying to get her out, and she's going to be like, nah, I don't feel like going out. I got to do my hair tonight. Or, I'm kind of sleepy. Maybe tomorrow. You know, she'll give you that kind of wishy-washy behavior. However, when you work solid game, you don't get that wishy-washy behavior. You don't have to do damage control text, as I call it. Or say you didn't cold approach a girl. Say you met her through your social circle, or again at your gym, or through a friend, or she's this new girl you started working with. Now she's your coworker. If you made the wrong initial first impression, if you didn't like make a solid first impression, you know, basically working game on her, then you're going to have these issues. If you get her number and try to get her out, she's going to be wishy-washy. She's going to be flaky like that, right? You're going to have that damage control text I talk about. Getting back to the point, so when I started to make money, I noticed my game started slipping. I was not putting in as much effort anymore. I was not trying as hard anymore. I started getting lazy about going out. I also started leaving venues a little bit earlier because I was tired and I just didn't feel like hanging out. Whereas before, when I was broke, I was there all night. I was the first guy at the club and the last guy to leave. I was there all night long. Every hot girl that walked in, I was hitting it hard. I was making sure I went through my basically my 5 steps to doing a proper approach to make sure I worked solid game on every single target. My mechanics were just very, very good when I didn't have money. When I started to have money, that's when I started to kind of get a little lazy, get a little too complacent. And then, after a few months, I noticed the decline. I noticed the decline in like the hotness of the girls I was bringing into my life that were in my pipeline, because I always have a pipeline going, right? Just in case somebody in my dating rotation falls off, I bring somebody from my pipeline in. But I noticed the amount of girls and the hotness, the level of hotness of girls that were in my pipeline had decreased noticeably. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? What's happening here? And it wasn't any one thing in particular. It was a series of things that I had just mentioned. Like I wasn't going out as much anymore. I got a bit lazy. And then when I did go out, there are a lot of targets that I saw that I just didn't bother to get up out of my seat. I wasn't doing the same things I was doing back when I didn't have money. Because I had money now, I felt entitled. I felt like the girl should come to me. I felt like I should be able to buy bottle service or something. The girl should just come to my table. I started becoming one of those jackasses. And thank God, luckily, fortunately, I caught it very quickly. Right? I caught it within a 90-day span. Whereas most guys just live out the rest of their lives like that. They're completely unaware of what they're doing wrong. Right? Whereas I was able to catch it and go, hey, wait. This money has kind of changed me. It's kind of hurt my game, right? Noticeably, to the point where I'm like, now I'm feeling it in my pipeline and I have to get back out there. I had to put evolutionary pressure on myself, and this is something that I teach my self-development students, is putting evolutionary pressure on yourself to get out there and grind, because nobody is going to do that for you. Okay, nobody's going to grind for you, and nobody's going to put evolutionary pressure on you, right? The only person who's going to do that is you. Okay, that's the only person who can and will do that for you is you. So you must put evolutionary pressure on yourself if you want to get things done, right? You have to be willing to grind. You cannot become a paycheck player, as I call it in the NFL, right? I see a lot of these guys collect their paycheck and they're barely performing anymore because they're being paid all this money, and it kind of disgusts me. It always has kind of disgusted me when I see that. I'm like, oh, he's not the player he used to be because now he's like filthy rich, right? It's taken away his drive. I was able to identify that in myself. Right? I was able to identify that very quickly and fix that. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to become like that. I'm never going to let the money change me. I'm always going to work solid games. So from that point on, the very next time I went out, once I recognized that, the very next time I went out, I made it a point to not be sitting down in my seat anymore. I was constantly standing. I was standing somewhere near the door, wherever the hotties would walk in. And anytime there was a hot girl, I would make sure to do my approach, and I would make sure to go through those 5 steps. I would force myself. I would push myself. I would kind of like brush aside the fact that I have money. It's just sad because a lot of the guys who are into this like LMS, a looks, money, status thing, they really think it's about money. And I've had so many students and I've seen so many guys, countless guys, especially here in Hollywood. A lot of rich guys here, a lot of movie producers, a lot of actors, professional athletes. They try to lead with that shit. They try to lead with their status. They try to lead with their money. Or the guys who are male models, they try to lead with their looks, and the shit just looks pathetic, right? It's like these guys who kind of like go walking around the venue with their Lamborghini key or something like that, and it's like, yeah, that's badass, you have a Lamborghini, but it's also kind of like try hard when you're doing that and you're walking around going, yeah, trying to pull the girl out in the parking lot. And I've seen a lot of guys try to do that. Like, girl, just come with me in the parking lot. Come with me in the parking lot. Look at that. That's my car. See that? See that Lambo? That's mine. That's mine. And it just looks lame. Okay, it ends up looking lame. Again, it's 1,000 times more valuable, and the girl will appreciate what you have, like your Lambo and everything else, 1,000 times more, your money, right? All that shit will be amplified when you bring her into your life first, right? Or you get her to emotionally invest in you as a person so that she stops seeing you as an object and she starts seeing you as a person. And then she starts buying into your frame and she's like, oh shit, I like this guy. This guy's alpha. This guy's bomb. I'm excited to go out with this guy. And then she's like into you, and then you go pick her up, and then she comes out and she sees that Lambo, she sees that lifestyle. That's what will amplify it. But when you lead with that and you're like, you walk up to girls are like, hey, yo, I've got money, it looks lame, okay? It just looks lame. And this is why I never brag about it. You know, I've had certain guys try to call me out too on social media. It's like, oh, he's just getting these girls because he has money now. I grew up poor. I grew up broke. I did the best when I was broke, right? Actually, money screwed up my game. It screwed up my game for, like I said, 3 months. You know, and the only reason why it was only 3 months as opposed to longer than that was because I was able to identify it very quickly because I'm a pickup instructor. I kind of looked at my own habits and I'm like, what habits have changed in me? And it was a series of habits that I picked up on. I'm like, wow, the last few times I was at the club, I really didn't get up out of my seat. I was just sitting there. Oh yeah, I saw like 5 hotties walk by and they just walked by. I was expecting them to sit down and smell the money off me. No, they don't. They don't know you. They don't care, right? They don't care. Plenty of rich guys out there. They don't care, all right? They just see you as an object. You know, I mean, there will be girls out there who will be happy to use you for your money, especially when you lead with it like that. Like, ooh, look at this Lambo, girl. Look at this Lambo. Especially here in Hollywood, some girls will take you up on that. Be like, yep, take me out in that Lambo. Wine and dine me, right? Buy me this, buy me that, right? You're obviously showing off your Lambo, so you must have the money to do it, right? Whereas I don't lead with my money. I don't lead with my cars. I don't do any of that. As a matter of fact, there have been a number of girls that I took out on a first date in my beater car. I have a beater car, by the way. I've taken the girls out in my beater car initially just to see their reaction, just to see like how they'll feel about that. And overwhelmingly, most of them didn't care. You know, is this to say that they're not gold diggers? I don't know. The reason they didn't care is because I worked such solid game on them. It was to the point where it didn't matter, you know, and I just put myself back in the mental space of my broke self, right? My broke ass self growing up where I didn't have money. And I just put my head back in that space where I would just like really pound the pavement and work super solid game on these hotties to the point where I'd pick them up. And if I was in a beater car, it was even kind of charming to them. It was like, oh, this guy is a real guy. It kind of humanizes you versus picking them up in a $250,000, $300,000 Lambo, right? Which again can be seen as try hard depending on the type of girl she is. In all honesty, a girl who gets like very impressed by your Lambo right off the bat, where she's more interested in the fact that you have a Lambo rather than you know, it might seem good on the surface, but it's not, you know, because that girl's just going to use you. I'll tell you that right now. That chick's just going to use you. And even for the guys who do have the LMS, the looks, money, status, those guys who try to lead with that, as I said, they don't have game, but they try to lead with those materialistic aspects of themselves. They generally attract those type of girls I'm talking about. The type of girls where they're just going to continue to see you and treat you like an object versus a person. These are the girls that are going to be cold towards you too. I mean, you're not going to find the type of girl that ultimately you'll enjoy hanging out with. All these chicks will just be complete bitches, right? Because the type of girls who are going to buy into that, right, where when you lead with looks, money, status, the type of girls that are going to go for that are generally the type of girls that are not going to be good for you. You feel me? This is why it's very, very important for me, at least, to, you know, make sure I work solid game on the girl and go through the steps I teach you, where you open, false time constraint, create attraction, build an emotional connection with a girl, basically comfort and rapport. Then you close. You do a solid approach like that to where the girl stops seeing you as an object and she starts seeing you as a person. All those great things that you have to offer her, if you do have looks, money, status, if you're rich, you have a nice car, whatever, big house, great job, nice physique, you're jacked, whatever, those things will be amplified and she'll see them as high value versus try hard. Because when you lead with those things like, oh girl, look, I'm jacked. Can't you see? You should have sex with me because of this. When you try to lead with that, oh, look at my Lambo outside. When you try to lead with that stuff, it comes off as try hard, low value, and socially awkward, right? And you really kill the value of the things you've worked so hard for. I mean, not everybody could get a Lambo. Not everybody could get six-pack abs. I mean, that takes work. It takes a lot of work. And you want the girl to value you for it. Ultimately, that's what you want, right? You want the girl to value you for it. And a lot of guys, might say things like, oh, yeah, I don't care what the girl thinks. Screw her. It's all about, and try to, talk all big and bad like that. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why most guys try to get ripped, try to get rich and stuff like that is because they're trying to be more attractive to the opposite sex, right? And this is why I tell you, if you want the girl to value you for that stuff, you can't lead with it, okay? You can't lead with it. You can't just kick your feet up and expect these girls to pull their panties down just because you have money or because you have the looks or because you have the status. It's just not going to happen that way. You have to have game, whether you're rich or poor, especially if you're poor like I was growing up. If you're broke, it will make you work harder. Okay, not just for women, but other things in life. You're going to have to continue to put evolutionary pressure on yourself, even when you get to where you want to be in life. I never thought I would reach where I am financially right now. I never thought I'd have it this good in life. I mean, I'm so thankful for it, but I never thought I'd get to this level. And it's very easy for me to just lay back and do nothing. Okay, it's very easy for me to just kind of kick back and really just let everything go to shit if I wanted to, right? But I don't. I wake up every day, I pound the pavement, I make sure I'm constantly putting that evolutionary pressure on myself, and I'm constantly grinding. I'm constantly grinding. What scares me is when I see guys out there who really haven't accomplished shit in life. They have all these big dreams, and they're not on their grind. You feel me? They're not on their grind. They're like watching social justice videos on YouTube. They're getting sucked into the blue pill matrix, all this mainstream crap that's happening right now with mainstream media and the virus and all that. They're just constantly getting distracted, and they're not on their grind. Or they're arguing with other low value males in the comment section or doing just very low vibrational shit like that. And they're not anywhere close to where they want to be. They're not even grinding. It's like, dude, I've surpassed where I want to be, and I'm still out there grinding. I'm still out there competing. I don't want to go to sleep in life. I don't want to retire. I get a lot of commenters too. When are you going to retire from this shit? When are you going to stop? Getting too old for this? It's like, maybe you are, but I'm not. I'll stop when I'm done, and I ain't done, right? I got loads of energy to go another 10 lifetimes, so if you're waiting for me to retire, haters, good luck with that, right? Good luck with that. It's going to be many, many lifetimes. But for all you other guys, remember what I said, man. Hey, you got to constantly grind. Even when you get to a place in life that you've been, trying to get to, you constantly have to put pressure on yourself so you keep performing, okay? Because once you go to sleep in life, once you let yourself slide, it's very, very hard to get back up, right? With that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets, signing out from my hotel room. I'm on the top floor of a magnificent casino here, and I've got a shot of the entire landscape of the city, which is pretty nice, pretty nice. But I'm going to wrap up here. This is M from the 33 Secrets for the second time. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. Okay, more importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Okay, it helps me out a ton, especially right now, guys. YouTube is on this just purge of, not promoting channels like ours that are trying to help men. Okay, they don't like this type of content. So I need you guys to help me spread the word. So if you have other like-minded friends of yours who are also ready to be unplugged from the blue pill matrix and are ready to be red pilled, share my coaching videos with them so they could get a taste of what they're going to learn. Okay? Promote my work and get them to subscribe to my channel. right? But it helps me out a ton when you guys are subscribed to my channel, because then we could really help grow and really build this thing and really change the world, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to change the world. So can't do it all by myself. Need you guys to help me out. So appreciate it if you subscribe and you get other like-minded red pill friends of yours to subscribe to my channel as well. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, baby. The best looking and most high caliber women on the planet. The type of women that your friends can only dream about. The type of women that your friends will only see in magazines. I'm going to teach you how to get these girls and bring them into your life. I'm going to teach you where to find them, what to say to them, how to approach them, and how to bring them into your life. I'm teaching you guys this stuff in 7 Months to Mastery. Okay, and I have many successful students who've been with me for years now that are in successful relationships. I've had more than a few students marry the woman of their dreams. We get thank you letters literally every single day. Okay, my staff, myself, constantly getting comments, thank you letters, like, oh my God, Em, you saved my life. I married the woman of my dreams, and oh, we've got this beautiful family now, and oh, you know, I met this girl and now she's my girl. I can't believe this chick is my girlfriend. Oh my God, I've dreamt about this chick forever. So I teach you how to get these girls and bring them into your life, right? The hottest girls on the planet. It's the 8s, 9s, and 10s. That's all we focus on, guys. So if you want to jump into 7 Months to Mastery, the first month is only $1, right? It's only $1 for the entire first month. And the reason why it's only $1 is because I want you to check it out for yourself and see how powerful these coaching lessons actually are and how much they can actually help you. So it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons, and all you have to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.